Okay, and I will get to them. I have two more questions, but let's go ahead and move on. Question number two. Question number two is, should we offer incentives, prizes, and so forth for games and stuff to get kids to come to our youth meetings? Okay, now I zero judgment on this, okay, because I have given away prizes. I have gone the extremes, okay. I have been the guy that in the early days I was much more rigid. I'll be honest with you, I was much more rigid. I said, you know what, I'm not giving out any prizes. You should want to come to youth group because you love Jesus, not because I'm giving out prizes. Now, that's a young man talking. That is a young man talking. Very stern, on the verge of Pharisee, maybe Pharisaical, who was very much trained to about discipleship, particularly motivations, things like that. And so I would not give as much. I was very stingy, to be honest with you. And then I've had times when, yes, every week I'm giving out prizes, doing a thing, because then you get into that little niche of things that you're doing. And so I don't judge anybody for doing that, but the old adage remains, I believe, that whatever you use to draw them is what you have to keep doing to keep them. Okay? Whatever you use to draw them is what you have to keep doing to keep them. And so in keeping that in mind, there's nothing wrong with small things. If you're giving away PlayStations every week, that could be a problem. Budgets usually can't sustain that. If you're giving away PlayStations every week, or game systems, or Switches, or whatever you're giving away, listen, God bless you. You're doing a great job. But I think what happens is the motivations. I understand. We want to keep kids coming. We want them to keep coming. I think what is more valuable, I think the prize, listen to this, I think the prize is relationship. The prize, you can give away whatever you want. Food is a great thing to give away. Food cards, right? Food, just like a gift card to Subway, or my kids love Subway. I'd find whatever the local restaurant is near you that kids love to go to after youth group, before youth group, during youth group, and get cards from that place and give that away. Simple things. $10 buys them a meal. But I think the real prize of youth group and inviting kids to come is the relationships you form. And so when you're doing good youth ministry, I think you are building relationships, because the hope is that kids will come for whatever it is you're doing, find out that, wow, there's students here who I maybe know or don't know, or maybe I need community. You hope that whatever prize you're giving away that night leads to the fact that either they're going to find Jesus, right? Or they're going to have find a connection within your youth ministry. And a prize can do that. A prize, if you're doing that, but if you're not doing the work on the other side, okay? If all you're offering is a prize, I would say you're only doing half the work. The other half of the work is that you are on purpose and intentionally doing your best to have some sort of relational time, and not leaving it to random that they're going to meet somebody, but you're on purpose creating a dynamic within your youth ministry to build relationships, and with one another, with other students, but also with yourself, that you're going to go ahead and go out of your way a little bit to get to know some of these new people that you've invited in. It can't just be, hey, here's a prize, and why didn't you come back? Well, they didn't come back because you only did half the homework. The other half of the homework is, on purpose, building intentional relationships among the students so they can be known, right, and heard. And the other part is that you are building a relationship with those new students. Yes, you're going to have to spend a little extra time and be relational with them, but that's the deal. That's really the big prize. That's the prize out of it. You can give away whatever you want, but ultimately the prize is the relationships that are found there. So I would say you could do it, but I would do it in short bursts. So I would say, look, if you're going to do it for a month, schedule it out. Be super intentional. Hey, 4 weeks, we're giving out prizes these 4 weeks. And then you're going to have to do the homework to figure out, okay, I know they're going to come for the prize, but how am I going to do the other half of the homework? How am I going to knit hearts together? How am I going to do this? Am I going to make sure that I'm going to preach the gospel every week so that these new students will find the Lord? Because if the goal isn't for them to find the Lord, listen, just having a relationship, just having a relationship with other students is not enough. In a sense, it's for them, it's not enough motivation in that regard to say, look, I want students to find the Lord. So if I'm going to give away prizes 4 weeks in a row, I'm going to make sure that I preach the gospel 4 weeks in a row, so that over those 4 weeks, I'm going to give out my biggest prize at the end of the month, right? Maybe it's a slow build up. I'm going to make sure that I give out the biggest prize at the end of the month, and I'm going to make sure that I preach the gospel all the way through and give those students who may leave you, who may say after 4 weeks they're gone. Well, for these 4 weeks, though, you're going to make sure that you say, look, I'm building in the intentionality that they're going to hear the gospel, hopefully receive the gospel, but you're also intentionally following up with them. You're also finding ways for relationships to be built in small groups and small group time, not just hype. And you're also you are building a relationship with them by following up with them after these meetings to say, hey, thanks for coming. That's why getting information or their phone number and shooting them a text to say, hey, thanks for coming, right? Be here next week when we're giving away this. And then I would go into a season of no prizes. Say, look, we did 4 weeks, but make sure your youth group kids understand this as well. You're not doing this you're planning with your youth group to say, look, we're doing this for 4 weeks, but just understand after the big outreach, after those 4 weeks, we're going into a season of small groups, or we're going into a season of deeper teaching, or we're going into whatever, that everybody's on board. Everybody's a part of the plan, right? It's super intentional the way you're planning it. And then you're also saying, look, maybe you do it once a quarter. Maybe you don't want to do it 4 weeks in a row, but that's a 4-week plan for you. You're welcome. You could also do it quarterly and say, hey, we're having one big event. It's the biggest event this quarter. Every 3 months, we're doing this one big thing. We're giving away a ton of prizes. We're going to give away $100 worth of prizes or whatever we're doing. And then say, okay, but make sure the gospel is preached. And that's a great opportunity for them, right? So I would say, look, those are two. If you're looking for something else, by the way, it has over 100 outreach ideas. A book called The Disciple Project, and it's an outreach manual of discipleship making and outreach ideas. So if you're interested in that, I will put links down in the show notes below. But yeah, I would say that listen, you can give out prizes. I would be very intentional about how you do it. I would be very like I said, very intentional, very planning it out with your adult volunteers, with your students, so that they understand how this process is going to work and what your goals are behind it. Don't do it in secret. Don't go into your private lab where you're cooking up ideas of how to get more students to come. Because the goal is, 1, students know Jesus. 2, they become lifelong followers of Jesus, I hope. And that's only going to happen with intentionality, right? So those are my ideas for as far as prizes go. Yes, give them out. Yes, do them for a limited time. And yes, be intentional as to what you're going to do with that momentum you get, and then moving into other things. All right, so let's go ahead real quick before we go into question 3. It's our final question. I do want to let you know, why do I want to sign up for the newsletter? Hopefully you've already done it. Hopefully I'm going to start getting just bings and pings and pops of all of you that are signing up right now. But I'll show you this. This little symbol, are you guys familiar with this? These symbols here? That's right. Plus, minus, division, right? Multiplication. Those there are a series I've just done called Do the Math. Do the Math. And it's a 4-week series. It's just in time for school. Because why? Because math. I don't like math. I'm not a fan of math. I'm not a math guy. I can do math, simple math, basic math. I can count money, which is great. I don't understand algebra or geometry. Leave me some comments down below. Are you a math person? Or leave me a comment. Are you a math person? Dennis, if you're still here, are you a math person? Because I'm not a math person. Put me with a bunch of figures and all that stuff. Now, I like stats. I like data. But I don't like math. I don't like working out problems. I don't like formulas in that regard. So, but anyway, this kind of math I do like. I like this kind of math. Why? Because this is a basic Christian living series. Okay. Plus is about the things you should add. You should add to your life as a believer. What should you add? What should be added to your life? Okay. The second week is what should you subtract from your life? What are some things that don't need to be a part of your life? What things should you be getting rid of? Okay. The third week is division, and division in the good sense of division is that knowing how to make those choices, how to know how to draw the line, so to speak. Okay. So you want to be able to go ahead and draw the line of division, knowing that God from the very beginning divided, right? He divided the light from the dark, the morning from the evening, the land from the sea. And so that division is an important concept theologically for a believer, because there is that division point where we're not to be. Don't be of the world, right? Renew your mind. Don't be of the world, right? But be sanctified unto God. So there's a separation. There is a division there that believers need to know, because some people think they can just go in to faith and just bring everything with them that they were doing before. Division is an important concept. And then the last week is multiplication. And multiplication is go and make disciples, multiplying yourself. And listen, I want to give you this free lesson right here, okay? It's a free lesson. It's the first week. It comes with the lessons and slides. It comes with the game activity. All my stuff comes with, but those games and activities have a point to them. You have closing ideas that I offer, and you get some social media graphics that I do for you. So it's a little promo that you can put out there, and a little follow-up with a scripture that I give you. And so if you say, look, Paul, if you're looking for a reason to sign up for the newsletter, here it is right here. And I will put a link down in the notes below if you are interested in that. I hope you are, because it's a great series. Like I said, great for back to school.